Hello, y'all. Tap here, and I just got back from a very eye-opening operation.
Yes, it did highlight my ADHD and autism a little bit, but it was because I was talking way too fucking much.
So basically, this loadout involves several great weapons that just excel when put together. These are specifically the missile pistol or loyalist, or veto. I personally prefer the missile pistol. The adjudicator, and the epoch. With the specific build I am using, which not only clicks really well with me, but it actually works to a degree of it's satisfactory. So let's start off with the adjudicator because it's the most complicated out of the mix. Second, the adjudicator is a high impact medium pen AR that can function a little bit as an MR as well. It starts off with a 2x, so I personally prefer holographic due to it being a red dot. A vertical foregrip for obvious reasons. And then for muzzle, just go with whatever the hell you want. This gun has a really tight horizontal at base, so I'm trying to get to vertical. The epoch. Now, I can't show you the weapon stats, and frankly, I don't know what the weapon stats are. But this is a weapon for bugs, and if you overcharge it, kaboom! Kaboom. Don't overcharge it. That's what you really shouldn't do. What you want to pair it with is Guard Dog, because this is a frontline assault build. Now, for me, honestly, the Reflex Sight Mark II is similar, but I prefer holographic on the adjudicator because, while the 2x is also a red dot, this one doesn't have any zoom, and that actually makes me able to see out of my sights. And oh my god, it works so much better than. Now, for other options, if you're free to play, that or just straight up just started, Liberator Penetrator. If you're looking for quote unquote meta Coyote, though I do really like the Coyote, but I wouldn't recommend using it because this thing has so many problems. And in this case, it's better just to use this. Now, for the armor, you'll want to use the Enforcer armor. This thing is really good. It's medium heavy hybrid armor, which is extremely rare. And it also comes with Fortified, one of the best passives in the entire game, giving an extra 50% explosive resist and further reduces recoil by 30% when crashing or prone. Why shouldn't you just use heavy armor? The mobility is necessary for this build because you're gonna be running in. Now for the secondaries, the Loyalist is the simplest option. It's a charge up hits decently hard. You're all-rounder. The veto is if you don't like the ray gun because it has ammo economy issues. I haven't tried it out yet, but I got the ray gun. However, if you're really good with this setup, the missile pistol is great. It has a small blast radius, meaning it can't really blow yourself up, unlike the Epoch. Now, if you're really going to want to go off a good cape-proof faultless virtue, it also shows your true advisor, which means, yeah.
It is an undeniable
Yeah.
fact that they do not have hearts. And heart is what Super Earth is all about. Prove your humanity. Show you care. Enlist in the Super Earth Armed Forces and destroy the automaton threat.
Sorry, I just noticed that now. It's just like... Now for the Thermite Grenade. I know it's overused as all hell, even with the competition of the G Grenade. However, the G Grenade is better in certain circumstances, while the Thermite is better in others. The Thermite is good for killing one particularly tanky target. However, if you find yourself being overwhelmed because you're using the Epoch, and I would say exclusively reserve it for heavies because for some reason the splash damage is not that high. But if you find yourself really struggling with heavies, little tip: one Epoch shot and this to a Charger Behemoth will kill it very quickly. I can't stress this enough, the missile pistol is very good. Now for the main issues with this build, this is one of my most ammo-hungry builds I've ever devised. It works fantastically otherwise. For Predator Strain, because against normal stalkers it works excellent, I'll give it a good ol' S tier. Normal bugs also S tier, S plus, because, well, 500 kills with a napalm is kind of average for a fire build, but this isn't a fire build. Now finally, for the war bonds required in this build, if you're going with the base variant, which you can also use grenade pistol if you want, though it's not recommended, you only need democratic detonation because one of the base options is, like, because you can use Peacemaker, it's fine to work. The only problem with grenade pistol is it has a lot of kick when it fires, and it reflects it. But look, I'm going to go through a little mechanic breakdown with each weapon. Adjudicator and the veto are self-explanatory. The missile pistol has the same tracking as the spear, meaning it doesn't double back like the solo silo. The missile knows where it is at all times because it knows where it isn't. The Loyalist is one of the better options due to it being a very basic plasma pistol, and Gunna Boy calls it the ray gun, and yeah, he deserves to call it the ray gun because very ray gunny vibes. And then thermites have a 5-second fuse time, dealing massive damage. 2,000 is a lie. It does close to the 3,000. Epoch is a gun that if you overcharge it, it explodes, but if you charge it just right, it does massive damage. Guard dog, self-explanatory. Anyway, no tap, out.